folks, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. Here's the latest news about the food program, the debit card program that's given to immigrants living in hotels. And also, a federal judge on Thursday denied Biden's administration program aimed at granting amnesty to unauthorized immigrants married to U.S. citizens. And I also talk a little bit about Mayor Adams' court date, which has been given for April of next year, about his charges for illegal campaign contributions from a Turkish official and lavish travel benefits in favoring the Muslim population. Thank you for joining me. It is Friday, November 8th, 2024. New York City has announced it would no longer issue vouchers to immigrants to pay for food, ending a controversial program that had come repeatedly under attack by conservatives and others. The City Hall spokesman said that the contract for the pilot program will not be renewed when it ends in January of next year, 2025. The program was characterized by some as an additional expense. It was initially conceived as a way to save money by no longer buying food the asylum seekers did not want to eat. Boxes of food were initially delivered to those staying in the hotel, and they complained that it wasn't food that they were used to or liked. The city estimated that the program cost half as much as the box meal delivery service it replaced. The city will now transition back to food delivery services for migrants in their care in the hotel voucher program, according to City Hall spokesperson. The mayor addressed the decision to end the controversial program that distributed prepaid debit cards to migrant families staying in city-funded hotels, allowing them to buy their own food. He also discussed President-elect Donald Trump, who Adams talked with on Wednesday, and how he may collaborate to address issues around funding, infrastructure, and affordability for the city. Well, Trump's going to probably cut off the funding to house these illegals, which Biden has been providing upon millions of dollars. Mohammed Bahi, who served as the City Hall's chief liaison to the Muslim community, was arrested last month as a part of a sweeping investigation into Adams and his campaign funding that led to the mayor's indictment on corruption charges in September. Adams, a Democrat, denied that he had ever told a city employee to lie. The mayor, Adams, has vowed to remain in office as he fights his own case, but the investigation has roiled City Hall in recent months, prompting resignations of police commissioner, the school's chancellor, and several other top advisors to Adams. Mayor Adams gets an April, I believe it's a 21st date next year, 2025, for trial. Adams, a Democrat, pleaded not guilty Friday to charges that he accepted lavish travel benefits and illegal campaign contributions from a Turkish official and other foreign nationals in exchange for political favors that including pushing through the opening of a Turkish consulate building. Now, these immigrants that are staying at the hotel, some of them seeking asylum, will no longer get their food voucher, I guess, but that's going to end next year also. A spokesperson for the city said electronic cooking devices are prohibited in all humanitarian emergency response and relief centers. They said that if a cooking device is found, it is confiscated. But some workers at a hotel for migrants last year complained in Midtown Manhattan that they feel unsafe at the hotel that they work at due to migrants cooking in their rooms, and what they said is a lack of oversight of migrants who are supposed to be isolated for infectious diseases. Another housekeeping attendant who spoke with Eyewitness News said that she has notified security every day about cooking devices in the room. So I wonder about panhandling now. Is that going to increase when they lose their official invoice, their debit card? Now, Mayor Eric Adams said, as we move towards a more competitive contracting for asylum seeker programs, we have chosen not to renew the emergency contract for this pilot program once the year term concludes. The pilot program distributed debit cards to migrant families staying in city-funded hotels, allowing them to buy their own food. Well, where did they think they were going to cook it? Out there on the street? In city parks? No, they're not supposed to be cooking in their hotel rooms. So where are they going to cook when they gave them the debit cards? Since late March, the city has provided prepaid debit cards totaling $3.2 million to some 2,600 migrant families living in hotels so they can buy food and baby supplies. I'm sure the number of migrant families and the total cost was actually much larger than what they are saying. The city awarded $53 million one-year emergency contract to New Jersey-based tech startup Mobility Capital Finance, bypassing the usual competitive bidding process, a decision that also sparked significant backlash. The cards, distributed at the city's intake center at the Roosevelt Hotel, gave a family of four about $350 per week, which would be about $1,400 a month, to go shopping at local stores for food and other supplies. The financial technology company Mobility Capital Finance, or MOCA-FI, was hired last year under a no-bid emergency contract to run the program for a one-year term. It received about $400,000 under the agreement. The mayor did not give a specific reason for ending the program. Yeah, I wonder if it's got anything to do with his corruption charges. The city's ability to enter emergency deals for migrant services has since been revoked by City Controller Brad Lander. New York City use of hotels as emergency shelters to house migrants will continue for the foreseeable future. The Post has learned that as the Department of Homeless Services is seeking a contract with hotels to provide a total of 14,000 rooms to shelter migrants, at least through next year. The city projects that spending on housing for migrants over the past 2 years and this fiscal year combined will surpass a staggering $2.3 billion, much of it on rent paid to hotels there in New York City. You know, you add this all up, that is taxpayer dollars that could have been spent on infrastructure, police, schools, you name it. And instead, that was just housing the illegals, $2.3 billion. About 150 hotels are currently sheltering migrants, and a total spending on migrants services over the 3 years will hit $5.76 billion. For over 2 years, they have provided care for more than 222,000 migrants. On Thursday, a federal judge denied a Biden administration program aimed at granting amnesty to unauthorized immigrants married to U.S. citizens. That program, put forward by the Biden administration in August, called Keeping Families Together, was thrown out by the U.S. District Judge J. Campbell Barker, who deemed it both illegal and out of Biden's scope of executive authority. Barker froze the program days after being introduced, while considering legal challenges brought on by a coalition of 15 U.S. states who opposed the program. The program utilized a parole-in-place approach to granting amnesty and citizenship, different from the typical process of leaving and re-entering the country after gaining approval. It's unclear how many individuals the decision impacts, with the Biden administration estimating about 500,000 and the coalition of opposed states claiming upward of 1.3 million unauthorized immigrants would benefit. That is a lot of illegals, probably paying whoever to marry them so that they can stay here in the U.S. under the, what was it called? Keeping families together. Just a few days ago when I was at the store, I saw probably a family, a man and a woman, with their government debit cards, with what is called or often referred to as anchor baby. The father said the baby, I assume he was the father, the baby was only 4 months old. They must have just got their government debit card, because when the woman went to put it into the machine to pay for their purchases, she didn't even know how to put the card through the machine. It must have took her 4 tries before she realized what direction to swipe the card, what side to put the card forward, etc. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.